that fresh, crisp breeze in the air, and you can smell the autumn's coming. You can see all the leaves around me are starting to darken and fall off and change all them nice shades of orange and red. But there's nothing that represents autumn more to me than the horse chestnut tree. Horse chestnut trees aren't even native to the UK. They was introduced in the 16th century. That's why sometimes you're trying to find a horse chestnut tree to find your conkers, and you just can't find them anywhere, it feels like sometimes. That's because you won't really find them in woodland. You actually have to find them in places where most of the time people have intentionally planted them. I'm walking along here now. I just found this one, and look at the size of the conkers on this. Those are the biggest conkers I have ever seen in my life. So this one behind me is still young because they can grow up to 40 meters tall and they can live for up to 300 years. How crazy is that? And in May is when all the little flowers come out. They're white with little pink bases, and they kind of stand in a column, in individual columns, and some people like to say they look like candles. Now we know horse chestnuts aren't edible, we can't eat them, but there's something really, really special about this tree, and that is that you can use the conkers, the seeds, the horse chestnuts, as soap. They contain natural soap called saponins, I believe it's pronounced, and that you can use it in your laundry. You can make laundry detergent from it, hand soap, shampoos, all sorts of soapy goodness, to name a few things. And not only does the conker, the seed, contain it, I can't help but call it a conker because I'm from England, but the leaves contain it too. So if you're out on a hike and you need to wash your hands, put a bit of water on it, rub your leaf into your hands, and that will wash your hands. It's amazing that nature can provide everything we need as long as we share the knowledge with each other. Another thing I find really interesting about the leaves is when you break away the stem from the stalk, it looks like a little horseshoe, and some people use that to help identify the tree. So the main reason we're making this video is because unfortunately the horse chestnut tree, its numbers are in decline, and it's been put on the endangered tree list, which is not cool. So what we're going to do is teach you how to grow a tree, a whole conker tree, from a conker, step by step. So what we're going to do is, if you go out and forage conkers this year, I'm sure you will, because our last two videos on how to make washing detergent and how to make hand soap got thousands of people loving it and watching it and enjoying it, and I really love that, and Stella really loves that. The fact that people are getting out in the fresh air and enjoying foraging, that's amazing. But now we're going to forage something, and every time we all forage, we're going to take a conker and we're going to plant it and we're going to grow it and we're going to put it back into the wild, and we're just going to restore that harmony between us and the horse chestnut tree, so all the future generations can enjoy the horse chestnut tree. And of course the horse chestnut tree itself deserves to live a long and beautiful life and thrive in all our countries.
Okay guys, so after you've had a great time collecting all your wonderful conkers, we need to check to see which ones are viable for actually growing a tree. So I'm going to pop them in this jar, add some water, the ones that float, they won't grow. That's how we know which seeds we're going to use. So that's no good, that's no good, we'll use that for our washing powder. But these three, perfecto. So I'm going to show you how to plant your conker seeds. This is the easiest method of how to sow your conker tree. We want a nice pot, some soil, we've just bought some compost from our local store, but if you're doing homemade compost you can use that as well, because that will have loads of nutrients in it, which is really good. So the interesting thing about conkers, what I think is interesting, is that they need 2 to 3 months of being in the cold before they actually germinate. So autumn is a perfect time to be sowing your conkers. We're going to pop them in our soil. I'm going to do 3 because then we'll have the best luck of one actually germinating, sprouting up. So what happens is over the winter we're going to leave this outside, and the cold is going to protect the top, and the roots are going to grow and send themselves down, and that means the plant will be really strong. And then in the spring when it warms up, the little shoots will come out, and we'll get little shoots for our lovely horse chestnut conker trees. Okay, so now our seeds are put to bed and they're inside their pot. We're going to water them in, give them a lovely drink. So the reason we're not just putting them straight into the ground in the woodland is because there are loads of little critters that might dig them up. Dogs, walkers, all sorts that could crush them. So we want to give our horse chestnut trees the best possible chance of survival. So we're going to grow them up big and strong in this pot until the spring. And then in the spring, when the shoots come up, we're going to maybe plant them out. Or we might wait until the autumn, because it's best to plant them out in the spring or the autumn. So we've got our little sapling here, and it's autumn time now, and we're going to plant him out. So guys, for anyone who's not aware and doesn't know, there's a big Brucey baby in here. He's ready to come out in about 4 to 6 weeks.
So that means Brucey and this conker tree that we're planting today, they're just going to grow up together and be the same age. How cool is that? So this is our sapling. This is 4 months old now, so it's ready to go in the ground. All the conkers are falling around here, so that's a great time to plant it. First thing all you got to do is find a nice little patch where there's a nice opening so it can grow up to be big and strong and get lots of sunshine. Make sure you get the landowner's permission before you plant it. Wink, wink. Now, just dig a little hole. I've had to stop digging my hole because I'm really hungry, and there just happens to be some of the last blackberries around. So I'm going to have a quick stack. And I'm eating them after Michelin Day. But that doesn't matter.
The devil will be in you.
So we've got some 6 months old horse poo that we're going to add, just for good measure, but you don't have to add that. What you do is you get your hole that you've dug. We're adding in some horse poo first, because it's full of nutrients. It's going to help the tree grow. Going to get our sapling, put it in. I'm going to add our compost. If you haven't got horse poo, it's fine to just use compost. I'm going to whack that all around the sapling as much as we can. They grow up to be big and strong. And he's going to live for 300 years. And long after we're gone, people are going to enjoy it. And what you want to do is make sure your compost doesn't go up the stem. Oh, just at the very bottom, because you don't want it to rot the stem. And just like that, he's planted. Now we've brought about 3 litres of water with us, but you can do it with 1, 2 or 3. When you water it for its first ever water, go around the outside so it absorbs in and doesn't wash away all the soil that's holding it. That was about 1.5 litres. I'm going to add one more, just to give it the best start in life. I'm not just going on the compost, I'm just going on all the ground around it. It's all going to absorb in. And don't worry about patting it all down tight. Let it just sit there quite comfortably, quite loosely, so it can really grow.
So there you have it, guys, our first ever conker tree. From conker to tree. Here's our little sapling. Hopefully he's going to grow big and strong.
Yep.
And I hope you enjoyed this video and you're going to grow your own conker tree, because they are on decline.
Yep, so if you get out there foraging, making washing detergent or making your hand soap from all them cool videos we shared, then put in a little bit of effort and plant one of these amazing trees so future generations can enjoy them just like we do.
Yeah, because we're bonkers for conkers.
We're bonkers for conkers. And they're officially on the endangered list, so it's time for us to get that balance back and start planting more of them back.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any questions about growing your own conker tree, just get in touch. But hopefully it was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peace, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for
and
watching.
To quote the famous painter Bob Ross, there's nothing wrong with being friends with a tree.